What up, Screen Fiends? I'm GB, and you're tuned in to Headz TV, where we like to discuss all the wonderful things appearing on your movie and your TV screens. In this episode, I'm going to give my full series review on an FX show that just recently ended its first season, Taboo. It stars Tom Hardy and a bunch of other people that you'll know their faces. You may not know any of their names, but you know all their faces. Well, the ones you can recognize because this is a period piece, so it's set in 1804, and the set design, the costumes, they do such a good job that a lot of these actors aren't all that recognizable because of the way the hair is styled or how dirty they are, how bad their teeth look, and their clothes are all tattered. They do a really good production design. Is amazing. It's up there with shows like Boardwalk Empire, Fargo season 2. These shows that show you a different era of time, but do it in a way where it really feels like you're watching something from that time period. You believe all the characters belong in 1804, etc., etc. Okay, I like the show. Was it my favorite show ever? No. I love the 8 to 10 episode format because it really tightens things up and you don't get as much of that wasted episodes or episodes that feel long and draggy. But with this show, they didn't make good use of the 8 episodes, I felt. The first 3 were really good. The last 2 were really good. So that's 5 right there. But then the 3 in the middle were just so-so. They were okay. If I was watching it week to week, they may have lost my interest around episode 4 or 5, which is not a good thing. But as served as a binge, it wasn't so bad at all. It was just that lull in the story at that time. But overall, it was a good show. The pacing was just a little bit off. If you like period pieces, Game of Thrones, Boardwalk Empire, Fargo season 1, a lot of Scorsese movies. If you like stuff that's period pieces done well, that doesn't have to be all action all of the time, you'll probably enjoy this show quite a bit. Now, the show follows a guy that comes home after 10 years being thought dead from Africa, and it has these supernatural undertones that at one minute you're like, oh, okay, this is a supernatural show, and then the next minute you're like, okay, well, maybe it's not a supernatural show. They do a good job of that push and pull of where you don't know if there's magic or if those people that think there's magic are just the people of the times, loony people that believed in witches and exorcisms and all this other stuff. So that I like that throughout the course of the 8 episodes, there's that sense of, is it real? Is it not real? Is it magic? Is it not magic? But by the end, there's no conclusion to that. We're still left open in the air to where we feel like Tom Hardy's character knows some sort of voodoo or black magic. But do we really see anything happen that's magical? Not really. So that was kind of a down point for me too. Other than the pacing, the other down point for me was definitely not fleshing it out. The supernatural tones of it, the aspect of it. I feel like a lot of the character motivations were also lost on me. And I'm usually good at paying attention and watching an episode once and getting a lot out of the episode, and then watching it again and getting way more out of the episode. Like, I'm good at that stuff. I only watched it once, so maybe if I gave it a second go through, which if they do get a season 2, I'll probably give it another watch. Maybe if I go through it again, I'll pick up more. But on the first watch, I feel like those things lack to me. The pacing was a little slow at times. The character motivations weren't all that fleshed out or apparent, even in their dialogue and acting, which sometimes they don't spell it out, but it's there in the scene. I didn't find that it was there in the scene for some of the things. And the whole supernatural thing, how it wasn't fleshed out, also was a down point to me. I have one other down point, and then I'll just talk about the things I liked real quick. I won't make this too long. I also, there's some character threads. There's more than just Tom Hardy's character. He's the main character of the piece. He's the one we follow most of the time. But there are other characters. His sister, there's the villain, there's, you know, a couple of his friends. There's some other people that we follow around also. And some of their stories, not all, but some of those side stories, the way they're concluded, really fell flat for me. Didn't have any impact for me. It was just like, oh, okay, that's how that ended. What's next? Tom Hardy's story, amazing all the way through. But everybody else's story, Maggie lost her gun. How's she going to fight Gregory without a gun? But everybody else's story, well, not everybody, but some of the other stories fell a little flat. And if you give it a watch, which I think you should, it's worth watching, you'll maybe see what I mean on those secondary stories. Their conclusions, having conclusions, but kind of falling flat and not having that emotional impact. Okay, the things I like, the performances were amazing. Tom Hardy is just as good in this as he has been in anything. So this is definitely one of his best performances, in my opinion. He did lack a little bit of maybe sympathy or humanism to him, because he was basically just a scary, brooding character, but it worked. It worked for the piece. It worked for the theme of it and the way that the tone of the whole show. It definitely worked, and he was very good. All of the supporting cast, equally as good. Nobody's performance fell flat for me. Everyone felt like they were from the 1800s. Everyone looked like they were from the 1800s. They spoke like they were from the 1800s. And I really enjoyed all of that. The production design, like I said, was amazing. It feels like a period piece. It almost, it feels like you're watching Gangs from New York, where not exactly, but how you look at that movie, the set, the costumes, the makeup on the people, the hairstyles, all that. And it feels like that era. That's what you're getting from this. The last two episodes were amazing. The last episode especially had a really, really good last action sequence that worked really well. I wish there was a couple of more of those types of action sequences throughout. There isn't. There's action throughout, but not the type of action you get in the finale. All in all, I like Taboo. I thought it was a good show. It was better than average. Wasn't great by any means. I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. I know that may seem underwhelming to you, but the way I judge shows is on a wide range of things. And the things that pique my interest or suck me in or push me away may not be the same things that suck you in or push you away. So I gave Iron Fist a 3.5 also. And Taboo, to me, is a better produced and a better, what do I want to say, performed show. It's put together better. But Iron Fist was a more enjoyable experience to me. So that's why Taboo doesn't end up with a 4 instead of the 3.5. All right, that's it for this video. Check it out, though, especially if you're a fan of period pieces or you're a fan of Tom Hardy or you just like everything FX puts out. Watch Taboo. I'm sure you can find it online. It's probably still on demand. It's only 8 episodes, but I do recommend you watch them at least in batches of 2 or 3 as opposed to watching them one a day or one a week. I think you'll be better served watching them at least 2 at a time, if not more. All right, that's it for this video. Sound off down below. Let me know what you think. Chime in. You got anything to say? Want to be part of the Screen Fiend fam? Like, share, subscribe. It's the only way. Yeah, so that's it for this vid. Thanks again for watching. Have a good day, and I will see you next time.